Last news report of the year. Let's get to it. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, December 19th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Starting off, we had the Game Awards last week, and there were some notable absences. I know there was a lot of really cool games announced there, but there were some things that I think a lot of people might have missed. FromSoft wasn't there. They've been there pretty much every year for the last half dozen or so, but no Bloodborne 2. They didn't even talk about their Switch game, the name of which is escaping me right now. CDPR wasn't there. I think I'm very excited for more Witcher 4 information, but didn't get any at the Game Awards. Arcane is still working on the Marvel Blade game, so hopefully that is still coming down the pipe. And I know a lot of people's Copium was on a rise, thinking that there was a Half-Life 3 that was somehow being worked on somewhere, but that's still just a meme in the mind's eye of Gabe Newell. But yeah, those are a lot of the things that we're missing. Let me know if there was any other absences that you thought of that you expected to be at the Game Awards but weren't. Moving right along, Bungie and Sony are giving us more information on Marathon. They've started with a release window. We're expected to get it sometime in March of 2026. The fact that that's only 3 months away and it's not a firm date is a little cause for concern. They also talked about a $40 price point, which is pretty interesting from a AAA studio like Bungie to be making what would seem like a AA kind of price point. But assuming the monetization is there and maybe they're taking some hints from like Helldivers 2 and some kind of battle pass system in the extraction shooter that is. Also maybe some Arc Raiders influence there as well. But yeah, they've decided that $40 is their price point, which I still think is somewhat concerning, but any live service game, you got to lower the price so that people buy the battle pass and all that kind of stuff. Although it doesn't work for Call of Duty doesn't work that way. But I digress. So let me know if you're still excited for Marathon down below in the comments. There's a new DLC coming to the World War Z game, which I haven't thought about in a couple years. But it is all Walking Dead themed. They're adding 4 Walking Dead characters. Negan, Daryl, Michonne, and Rick are being added to the game. They're actually adding some levels that look very reminiscent of The Walking Dead, like the prison and other areas maybe around Georgia. All that looks really good. I talked about after watching the trailer, I was like, hey, this looks like it could be its own game. Wink nod. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff coming to the World War Z game, which I'm curious what the price point is for that game since it's kind of towards the end of its life cycle. But excited to see The Walking Dead coming to DLC for The Walking Dead coming to video games. So pretty cool stuff. We got a new game to talk about, and it's one that's right up my alley. There is a new Bluey game. As one of the probably dozens of people who own the first Bluey game, that one seems a little kind of little cash grabby. Like there's not a lot to it, and it's just kind of fun, and it's pretty rudimentary. But this one actually seems fully fleshed out, even though it's a mobile game. It's called Bluey's Quest for the Golden Pen. It's actually done in the really cool art style that they've done of like when Bluey and Bingo are drawing, and that they've got a really cool animation style. It also seems somewhat Zelda-esque, where like you're moving around the world. There's a lot of really cool, unique puzzles based on what I've seen. So yeah, this seems like a level up for Bluey in the world of gaming, because the last one was a little bit of a letdown. But yeah, I'm excited to potentially get my hands on that. It does have a console port, so if you want to play it on console rather than on your phone, you can play it there. Or I don't know if it's like Bluey age range child ready, but I will use it eventually to get my kids into gaming. So excited that there's more options for that, especially with Bluey. I remember just a few years ago when I was very surprised by like 6,000 to 7,000 games being released on Steam every year. And a new report came out this week that over 19,000 games have released on Steam this year. And there was another fun fact of like 50 to 60, I think, percent of them have like received 1 to 10 Steam reviews, which means that there's obviously some math going on in the background where you can turn Steam reviews into like potentially sell buyers, but or owners or players. Um, but yeah, that means that like yeah, over half of the games released are potentially just basically shovelware. And there's like 20,000 games put on Steam every year, which again, going back to Half-Life 3, Steam doesn't need to make any money, like doesn't need to make games. They can just upend the console market by making a super console, or just take their 30% off the top of all those, all the 20,000 games that release on Steam every year, with games somewhat heavily quoted. But yeah, that is I have no idea how you attempt to curate that. That I don't even want to do the math right now of like multiple hundreds of games released daily is just nuts to me. So, and that's cumulative. That's just 1 year. That's not even like 50,000 games on Steam. That's just 20,000 in 1 year, which is nuts. So I still think that there's a curation problem in PC gaming, but I don't know how you keep up with that. So moving right along, ever since the EA and FIFA breakup a couple years ago, EA's been doing their own football cup or whatever their soccer franchise is now called. And FIFA's been looking for a home ever since, and they seem to have found one. And it is Netflix. So I guess Netflix is really invested in gaming, because the next FIFA game, officially licensed FIFA game, will come to Netflix and will be on Netflix Gaming, which they've got to really level up their gaming status if I'm going to be able to play a FIFA game from my Netflix app. So are they going to make their own controller, or how is that going to work? How are they going to Bluetooth my Netflix to my PlayStation controller so I can play soccer? I don't know, but they're going to have to figure it out. This is a couple years out. They said it's not coming until the next World Cup, which means that we have 3 years or so until we can expect this. But I do not envy the developers who have probably been working on this and will need to work their asses off to make Netflix capable of streaming the quality of game people expect from a FIFA game. And how is that going to be different from EA's annual FIFA game? And really kind of showcase what the license is actually doing for them. So good luck to those developers. And yeah, it seems like maybe Netflix isn't the good guys if they're getting in bed with FIFA, but I digress. The Tencent ripoff of the Horizon series, there was some kerfuffle earlier this year. Tencent was planning on releasing a game called Light of Motirum. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And that game is officially dead. So the everyone, when they first saw it, was like, hey, that looks a lot like a Horizon game. Some people dug into it a little bit deeper, and it found out that Tencent and the developer were actually working on a Horizon game. They brought it to Sony. Sony turned it down, and they still wanted to turn that into a profit by somewhat changing, if not at all, this game, and just saying, oh, it's all an homage to the Horizon game. We thought it was really good, but it was way too close and did not pass legal scrutiny. So Light of Motirum is officially dead. Tencent's attempt at getting that money back, that development money back, has not been successful. So turns out if the developer says, hey, you can't make that game based on the IP that you were working on, trying to release it anyway is probably not a good idea. Your next Honda could be a PlayStation. There was announced this week that Honda and Sony are partnering up to bring the Honda Fila 1, a new car that is coming out under Honda. Their infotainment system can play PS4 and PS5 games. I'm curious where the hardware is, because usually that's just like screens in the back. It looked like it's. I've seen the picture where the infotainment system's on the back seats and you can play from there. So do I plug in a PlayStation controller? Can I sync up any other controller? Still have a lot of questions about this, but being able to play PlayStation games in your Honda, as long as you're not driving, is pretty cool. That's what I said. Is if you can, if it's a self-driving car, then yeah, you can just play PlayStation games on your commute. Should be fun. Um, do it safely, I guess. I don't want to encourage anyone playing video games instead of driving. Um, moving right along, we are now living in a post TV series world with the successful launch of Fallout Season 2. I haven't even started it yet, so no spoilers. But Todd Howard, in interviews this week, said that he won't be cameoing on the show, which is good. I think that'd be quite distracting. And that even though we have to wait for Elder Scrolls 6 before we can even start considering Fallout 5, he's already starting to think about Fallout 5, and he says that Fallout 5 will exist in a post-TV series world. So whatever happens in the series, when we've gotten confirmed for 3 seasons so far, that whatever happens in this show, the next Fallout game will come after that, and whatever ramifications of that, like blowing up Shady Sands, will be canon within the new Fallout world. So add that to your homework of things you have to do before you play the next Fallout game, is watch an entire series, which is a little much, but I think mostly people just play to exist in the world, and they're not too into the nuance like mega fans like I am. Last but not least, a series of developers released holiday cards with all your favorite characters looking very cool and spiffy in their holiday gear. I especially like this Santa Monica Studios one that has like God of War all over it. There was a cool Tomb Raider one with a raptor wrapped in Christmas lights. All sorts of fun stuff, gets you in the holiday spirit. So I'm excited to cast a spotlight on that. I'll have a link down below for you to check out those holiday cards, and they're all pretty nice and fun. That's it for this week and this year. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate everyone who comments, likes, and subscribes to all my stuff. It all helps me keep in the holiday spirits, and I love hearing from all of you. So thank you very much, and I'm hoping to have a great year next year as well here in my news report. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a lovely holiday, and I hope you have a super day. Bye!